Hey everyone, welcome to GTM Secrets. Everything go to market, sales, marketing, rev ops, product marketing, you name it. Had some really interesting people on here. Today I have Dasha Samson, who is like right up my alley. I love talking about demand gen, but I don't want to steal your thunder. So Dasha, do you mind giving a little bit of context on yourself?
Yeah, no problem. Hi, happy to be here. Dasha, I am the director of demand gen at inMoment. And to make it short and sweet, I just lead all of our paid efforts for new business and growth.
Now I'm curious. Some people clump this under sales, some people clump it under demand gen. Do you have BDRs? And if so, who do they fall under, you or sales?
We do have BDRs. They have traditionally fallen under sales, but very recently they have moved under marketing.
Got it. Okay. And I've seen that happening a lot more. And frankly, I'm a big fan of it.
I know,
So,
as it should.
yes. Now, here's my biggest question. So, you're a data company at your core, right? So are we in Identity Matrix. Demand gen, everyone says they're data driven, but what does that actually mean in practicality? And I assume the bar is higher at inMoment, seeing as you are a data company. So, what does demand gen is data plus marketing. What does that actually look like? And I know that's a broad question, but let's start there.
Okay. Well, in reality, we do have to use data for everything under the sun to understand who we're targeting, how we're targeting. And that all kind of starts like, I would say like top, bottom, right? So first we use data to really understand who our customers are, what their pain points are, which industries they're in, which job titles that, we kind of target to. And from their point on, we can kind of work backwards from that as to, okay, once we understand who our customers are, of course, that also starts with your ICP. And that, I mean, you're right, that's a broad question. I could think about how to reframe it a little bit.
Let me make it a little more tactical.
Okay.
Analytics this isn't meant to be a pitch for identity, but
Yeah.
one of my issues is that analytics are anonymous. So when you're looking at segmentation and you're looking at conversion rate optimization and segmentation, again, it's all anonymous and you're making a lot of assumptions on, is this the right demographic? How do we know? Do we think this person is a demand gen leader? Do we think they're a VP of marketing, CMO, whatever? Like, you're targeting your ICP, but how do you actually measure some of that behavior? And how do you create that segmentation when it's all anonymous?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I understand what you're trying to ask me. Well, I'm a huge fan of ABM, and we kind of start with creating the best TAM that we can based on our ICP. So inMoment, we are at the core, we are an acquisition company. So we have very different products that do very different things that all tie and CX at the end, right? So we have reputation management, we have surveys, and then we have contact center conversational intelligence. So it's really important for us to, first of all, create almost 3 different total addressable markets, because each one of those products actually just is targeted towards a completely different job title, different persona. So where we start is actually understanding which product fits where, right, and then creating a total addressable market. And then I am not a fan of really going after like kind of like a spray and pray approach, like putting advertising out there and seeing what happens. When we're using display advertising or pricey channels like LinkedIn, I like going after a total addressable market because those are companies we've already determined are a great fit for XYZ products. So of course, like we run, Google advertising, but it's more important to me to go after companies that we know would be a great fit for 1, 2, 3 of our products.
So let's dive in a little bit on that. Everyone talks about ABM. Mm-hmm. Account-based marketing, somewhat self-explanatory, but when you dive into how you actually execute that, it's not really self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
So what I think about is take my target audience, scrape as many people as I can, in my case, and probably yours, in and around marketing, put them up on custom audience ads on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever you want, and then start reaching out to them, with sequences. Is that kind of what you guys do as well? Is it more in depth than that? Are you using intent signals, like a sixth sense at all? What does that look like at a practical level?
I would say the way we do it is a little bit more in depth, maybe not traditional in the sense either. So we do have our account lists, again, per product, but we have named and unnamed accounts. Named accounts are the ones that our BDR team will work. And it's really not a lot. It's like 50 to 100 accounts because we want them to be very focused, know their accounts very well, do proper research, do proper personalization. So we have these account segments of named accounts. And we have like 50 per BDR. That gives us around like a little bit under 400 accounts. We can segment those so granular that we can get very, very personalized. But then we have thousands of other accounts in our TAM that we can't just have not be touched and just sitting there.
Right.
So then we do kind of like a one-to-many semi-personalized approach to those accounts. So instead of using traditional advertising like Google, we will use our ABM platform for brand awareness to target those accounts only. So when our BDRs do book meetings or disqualify prospects, we can just pull out of kind of those campaigns the accounts that we've been already warming that we know someone is going to take.
If you don't mind sharing, because I'm a RevOps guy, what ABM platform do you use?
We use Terminus right now.
Okay. How do you like it?
We like it. It's good. There's a lot of capability.
Okay. Usually the go-tos are 6 cents in demand base, and I find them to be overpriced for what they do. I have less experience with Terminus, to say the least.
I work with Terminus and Rollworks. I think they're both really great.
Okay. Love it. Now, one of the big topics that everyone is talking about is personalization and what that means. So, I'm a big fan of Clay and some of the other personalization and enrichment tools out there. But often what people revert to is personalization means inserting merge fields like first name, last name, title, what university they graduated from, and we know it's automated, right? Mm-hmm. What does personalization mean at something like inMoment?
Sure. I mean, for us, we try to break down as much as we can because we are able to break down our audience by product. We can go even further than that. It's like, okay, they are the best fit, let's say, for our rep management solution. But what is the pain point? What is their intent? What type of persona can we go after? So we try to just adjust our marketing as much as possible. But then we work very, very closely with the BDR team, saying like, okay, if we're doing personalization on our end, and we can only do so much, you guys know your accounts like the back of your hand. This is like your named accounts need personalized approach all the way from the first email to the last. Consumers, again, like you said, are very smart. They know when something is automated. You have to have that human approach. And that's what we train our BDR team to do, like quality over quantity, because we can't get as personalized as you. Like you're that last missing piece that can take that account home.
By the way, I need more coffee today. You could have called me out. It's inMoment. I think I said inMoment. So ignore.
Did you? It's okay.
I need a lot more coffee and Red Bull today.
You're good.
Okay, so that makes sense. Now, if you're only targeting 50 accounts, how many people are your BDR team reaching out to? Is it like 3? Is it 15? What does that look like at each account?
Yeah. We're asking anywhere from 10 to 15 job titles. So some of that is going to be your buying committee, but then you're going to have your influencers, and then you're going to have people that review the contract. You're going to have people that approve like procurement at some point. So we want to make sure that all of those people are targeted. Maybe somebody will not, like really great example. I tell them like, will a CEO reply to your message? Maybe, not likely. Well, will a CEO forward your message to somebody on a CX or a marketing team? Very likely, because that happens to me, and it's happened to me in a lot of companies. But then again, maybe somebody that you reached out to has no type of buy-in in what you're doing, but you could come across a person who's going to be like, hey, I'm not the best, but here's a person that you can reach out to. Again, that person you could also be reaching out to, but now you have a connection. Hey, I've talked to Stephen from this, department. He said you're actually the best person. Can we get on a call? So you really just have to target as many people as within, of course, reason and relevancy. But
Yeah.
I really believe going outside of the buying committee as well.
So if you're taking a hyper-personalized ABM approach, first of all, I assume you're targeting enterprise orgs at that point.
Commercial, enterprise, both.
Okay. So when you're doing that and it's hyper-personalized, is your team, and I want to get into ads and more marketing in a second, but is your team using any sequencing, or is it all manual effort so that it is that personalized approach?
Volume is important. So yes, we do use sequencing, but the sequences also have been written to be as personalized as possible. So I've asked, like myself and the team leads on our BDR teams is to write as many sequences as possible, pain point, persona. So when a BDR sits down like, hey, I got to put this one in a sequence because I have 3 people to reach out to with personalized messaging. Okay, I have like 20 sequences available to this person. Do I want to use a pain point? Do I want to use their job title? Do I want to use something about like news about their company? So even though it's a sequence, we still try to make it seem like it's as personalized as it possibly can be.
Yep, I gotcha. So, okay, you take that list of, across your BDRs, let's say it's a couple hundred accounts, 50 each, you said. Now we're talking about potentially a few thousand people when you look at the number of people, 10, 15, whatever per account. I imagine that they're all on different audiences for ads. Tell me if I'm wrong.
What do you mean?
So are you doing custom audience ads, whether it's like Facebook, Meta, et cetera, to stay in front of those couple thousand people in your target accounts?
Yes, we do. But the channels that we use for that are mostly, ABM, Terminus, and then LinkedIn.
Got it. So
we don't do any Facebook advertising.
Got it. I found Meta's okay for B2B retargeting because it's so cheap. But yeah, it's not going to be conversion volume by any means. Where does Terminus publish ads?
They have I can't even answer that question because there's a ton.
Is it mostly programmatic?
It's mostly programmatic, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So the problem with ads with a hyper-targeted group is that getting them to fire, if there's only a few hundred people in that persona or that segmented list, getting them to fire is pretty hard, no?
It could be. I mean, other accounts that we have like very limited reach, yeah, there is, but we try to kind of make up for that with either LinkedIn advertising or with the BDR team.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. So the next question is, everyone talks about AI and marketing and demand gen, but I think there's enough fluffy podcasts out there that say use AI. Well, no shit, to put it bluntly. How do you guys use it, if at all? Are you headed in that direction? But how do you actually implement it practically?
I mean, there's a couple of ways, right? I think one of the biggest ones right now is like content writing, ad writing, things like that. Like it just makes the process a little bit faster. You can take inspiration from it. It's something to get you started. And then reading data as well. I think that there's capabilities of AI that can spit out data a little bit faster than you just like sitting there for hours trying to analyze what's working and what's not.
Summarization, yeah. I just the other day, I used ChatGPT, gave it 10 of my top competitors, and had to do a complete competitor analysis on all 10 in like 3 minutes. It was awesome.
Exactly.
So I'm a big fan of that. And I think that's one of the things that people overlook. Yes, use AI to write content. Obviously, it spits it out 10 times faster. But I think some of the things that people miss are, summarization with data. I agree. But then the other one is enrichment. Being able to summarize somebody's LinkedIn profile or one of the campaigns that we did was take articles related to MarTech that would fit us and use, in this case, Clay to scrape who was the journalist, what's their LinkedIn, go get a bunch of info on them and write hyper-personalized emails to them, right? So I think it goes far past just the let's write SEO optimized content.
Absolutely.
You should do that, but everyone and their mother's doing that at this point. What are some of so tell me if you disagree, costs are going up year over year. SEO is changing because of Gemini and GPT and whatnot. So CAC is often going up. How are you at inMoment trying to combat some of that? What are some of the ways that you guys have been able to potentially reduce or at least maintain customer acquisition costs?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, one, of course, like we try again to like just target accounts that we know are the best fit for us, right? Because if I look at our Google advertising, for example, like, yeah, is it necessary? Absolutely. Like we need to have it. But when I look at it, like acquisition costs are insane just for one quality lead. I mean, like, was it worth it spending that much money, right? But it's just constant. Like I just try to have like as agile process as possible, just constantly looking at what's working, what's not, where we can increase budget, where can we decrease, just to go back a little, we do use this called Dream Data. It's really awesome when you look at all of your paid channels. It will go like way beyond the metrics that Google will give you. It will tell you, like how many leads, even like an ad group delivered you, how much impression share you own. So you can really adjust things month to month when you do that. But another thing, we're just kind of trying to see what's working and kind of head in that direction and just constantly experiment with things as well.
Dream Data is pretty cool. I have a little bit of experience with it. It's basically like GA4, but down to the account, right? At least that's my limited understanding of it, which is pretty cool for an ABM strategy for sure. I also have to imagine that you're using some of your own tech, right? So you guys are essentially a customer experience and digital experience platform. So subtle plug here for you guys. Tell me, what do you see working that others aren't really doing when it comes to optimizing and improving the customer experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think from our standpoint, we see the full picture of CX, whether it starts with surveys, reputation management, and contact center is not something that we can do for ourselves or we could do for others.
Sure.
But we are really good at looking at the full picture of a customer and the full kind of journey of a customer. And that's another thing Dream Data is great for. Some of the things we look at are, maybe we have a channel that doesn't produce any leads, but has it touched leads, has it nurtured a lead? Was it really impactful? Right. So that's kind of like we teach our customers too, in a way, as like, okay, you've deployed surveys, but your local listings, are suffering. Some of your business information's wrong. You're not replying to reviews. What is the full picture of your customer journey? So that's the kind of approach that we take to our advertising is what is the full picture?
Makes sense. Fair enough. Now, last question for you, I think. Sometimes I say that and then I lie. But are there any trends that you see coming up or that you're planning on investing additional capital in 2025 for demand gen?
Any trends?
Or any specific channels that you found good success in? Any strategies that you plan on investing more in 2025?
Sure. I mean, first of all, I think the first is like live experiences are really coming back. I think, post-COVID and people kind of are sitting on their laptops, people are trying to get out. So I see us really increasing our spend in events. Not a lot, but it's definitely going up. And other things, things that are more interactive. So for example, like just ads and blogs is just not enough. I'm trying to experiment with things that like people can really get interactive with, like quizzes, for example, that you can like plug in your own strategy and see like what else you could be doing, and of course, like how inMoment can help. So that's something we're experimenting with. Of course, like just going more towards like more like data driven audience targeting with ABM, and of course, like using AI as much as we possibly can. We can allow ourselves to.
Love it. That's awesome. I really appreciate it, Dasha. I think this is super insightful. I love talking to ManGen because that's also the same space I'm in. I know you're going to say LinkedIn. Everyone does, but where's the best place for people to connect with you?
LinkedIn, 100%, or even my email, dasha.samson at inmoment.com.
Awesome. Well, I encourage everyone, go connect with Dasha. Dasha, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.